Five, four, three, two, one. Hello and welcome to episode 122 of the KBMOD podcast, the Intimate Holiday Edition. It is December 29th, 2013.
We'll call this 121.57.
There you go. Stardate.
Yeah.
Stardate 121.57. The edition where I
Captain
hold a
Log
blue
started
snowball.
23.9, rounded off to the nearest decimal point.
Can I just tell you, one
time
time my friend John and I tried to determine exactly what length of time a star date was in human time, and it was like 0.76 of an hour, but we spent more than an hour mathing that out.
Jesus.
Nerds.
You know,
Yeah.
there's got to be... Was this before the internet?
No, this was during internet time. Like, we went through and figured out, like, because you can't just put, like, what's a star date in normal time into Google like you would think you could, but you can find crazy Trekkie websites that are like, a star date is exactly 0.46 hours, and then you can sit and math it out yourself. I'm glad I called someone else a nerd when I figured out how long a star date is in fucking human time. Sorry about it.
That's true. That's true. But there's got to be a website. I have to hold my mic upon my chest because fucking... And a new sub, Big Satchel. Thank you so much for subscribing, sir.
Yay.
Because it will not recognize my nice new XLR mic, which will soon be modded by Sean into even more fantastic, amazing mic. And Skype is like, you know what? I don't like nice mics. I'm a bullshit program, so all I want is bullshit audio products. So I'm holding this blue snowball on my chest, and it's not awesome, actually, whatsoever. It's not awesome. I mean, it doesn't look like a dildo so much, Roma, as it does a giant anal bead, but it could be construed as either one.
Either way, it's a sex toy.
Yeah,
It's
either
not like
way,
you're holding a Yeti.
either way, there's poop on
And
it.
remember how excited you were to get that blue snowball back in the day, and now you're
I
just
know.
shitting on it.
I
It's
know.
just rude.
Shout outs.
You forgot what made you internet famous.
That's true. That's true.
Because your
This-
first mic was just so
Whew.
bad.
You rode that snowball to victory,
I
man.
did. Shout outs to Dirk the Devil, wherever you are, Call of Duty commentator, for selling me this blue snowball for $30. So thank you, and kickstarting my YouTube career into
good.
high gear. So shout outs to Dirk. Oh, blue snowball's fine. I'm just upset. Yeah, I'm too famous now. I've lost touch with all the roots. Mainly Questlove, but most of the roots. I've lost all sorts of touch. The fame changed me. That's right.
Dude, Questlove misses you. He called me last week. It was
I
the
know.
worst damn.
I said, you're in Thailand doing Miller Lite commercials, Questlove. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
He was going to take you to Thailand, dude.
He
Missed
was.
out.
He was, but no. So, it has been a holiday week, so we'll talk about what we've been doing. I'm guessing there hasn't been too much gaming, but maybe there has been. So, Hex,
You know,
what
my
have you...
life.
What have you been up to?
We did a bunch of stuff with family for the holidays. As far as gaming, I played, weirdly, a bunch of old games this week. Like, I played a bunch of Burnout Paradise because I was in the mood for a racing game that was a little more modern than Underground 2. Still a solid arcade racer. And some Paranautical Activity because Jenkins got me to buy that on the Steam sale because he said, it's Isaac plus Quake, which is basically all I need to hear.
Yep.
It's a really good game. It's a lot of fun. And right now I'm playing Tribes because somehow there are still other people playing it.
Wow, you're playing Tribes Ascend right now.
I am playing Tribes Ascend right now, and there's one other person in this server.
You're one.
How many people on the other 4 servers in the game right now?
There were like 2 servers that were completely full, and there was one server that had like 6 people in it, and now it's done to me and this one dude, so I'm going to bail out of this server too.
So altogether, still more than Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes. And
especially if you're
definitely-
trying to play ranked.
Definitely more than Ghosts, which actually has less people than Black Ops 2.
That's impressive.
That's it really is.
Although I'm
Black
sure
Ops 2 was a decent game.
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
It was.
But
John
no one
was-
played it after the first month.
Yeah. Oh, and I played some new Super Mario Brothers 2 on the 3DS. My parents got me that for Christmas.
Nice.
It's really good. It's probably the best side-scrolling Mario game in like the past 10 years.
Oh, I've heard it's great from pretty much every source. Now
I'm not
let's
a fan of new Super Mario Brothers.
Really?
I liked the first one, but it was one of those things you were supposed to play with a bunch of people, and now it just turned into like who can kill each other the fastest. I like that this is kind of just a straight up. It takes all the best parts of like Mario World and Mario Brothers 3 and mixes them into one game.
That's kind of what 3D World did, but being 3D.
That game, I want a Wii U just for that game, like that, and I actually have the Wind Waker edition on my Amazon wish list right now because I'm hoping I can get it before it disappears. Because there's a couple Wii games, like since the new consoles have come out, the Nintendo exclusives look more enticing because the PS4 and the Xbox One they're just getting a bunch of PC games that I want to play on my PC. So if I was gonna buy a console, I'd probably buy a Wii U.
Yeah.
That's
I was actually thinking the same,
pretty solid reasoning overall.
but I won't buy it.
Yeah, like the Wii U at this point is like an oddity to me. It's like, well, now I've seen how the Wii worked. So after like 6 years, you can go to like a game exchange or GameStop and get a Wii for $50. So in 5 years, I'll just go buy a Wii U for $50 and play the 10 games. It'll be worth it.
Here's the thing. All right, and I've gone off on this a couple times, so just very lightly. I think mainly on streams, never on the podcast. But I was looking for a Wii U for the kids and for me, obviously, and what was the one console maker who probably needs to sell some consoles? That would be Nintendo. And what was the one console maker who didn't go on sale at all during anything? Nintendo.
Yeah, that was really weird. They should have had some kind of bundle sale for Christmas.
There was a sale on PS4s at some places, like with extra games and stuff. You know, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's like you get these 3 games with your console purchase, which is still $100 off technically if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like if you're a parent that's going to go buy a console and you can see, like, I saw that Microsoft did that $800 Xbox One bundle that was like, you get the Xbox One and 3 games and an extra controller and a year of live, and it was like $799.99, and I was like, that just sounds like sadness. That's a sad Christmas if you want to play. I don't know. Maybe if you like Xbox, it's not, but that's a lot of money for Xbox.
Yeah.
My Xbox One's pretty badass though. Like if I'm gonna have an Xbox One, having it custom engraved with my shit on it, is
yeah. Like if I could get one that was custom engraved with like my Twitter handle on it, that would be like, all right, that's pretty cool.
It's just like I don't understand Nintendo. I just don't understand. Last week on Giant Bomb's last podcast before they did their award stuff, this past week, their awards. By the way, we have less hours than them somehow on award stuff. Like those guys do 2.5 hours every day for a week of award show podcast. So
yeah, it's
if
pretty
you think
nuts.
ours were pretty long, they were nothing compared to that.
They are a long podcast. They get good bullshit sessions in their podcast.
They feel like the Nintendo within 10 years will probably be licensing.
Sega.
Licensing out to other platforms. And maybe just stick with like the 3DS. Because it's clearly the best portable.
Their handheld, their handheld stuff's been incredible. I mean, it's been better than everybody else's forever.
Mm-hmm. I actually read a really interesting article about this. Go ahead, John.
The only handheld device that I really, really enjoyed that was from somebody else was the Nomad, I think it was called, from Sega, where you could put Sega Genesis games into a Game Gear. That was the only thing that I liked. Yeah, everything else I've owned has always been Nintendo. Like I have a 3DS now. I don't play it, but I have it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
there's some really good titles on it.
There's some really good titles on it. And so you're good at that. It sells like hotcakes, by the way. Like 3DS is doing super well. It's pretty much the only competition for it
is the Vita.
Would be the Vita, well, I meant competition, not
well, the Vita's doing better now because a lot of indies are coming to it. Like if you wanted to take a lot of your PC games on the go that are indie titles, like Spelunky is a big one now that just came to the Vita. There's a couple other big ones that are coming to the Vita.
It has games.
Binding of Isaac Rebirth only coming to the Vita because Nintendo won't clear it.
Oh, yeah. Too offensive. I can see that though, Nintendo. But
that's one of those decisions I actually kind of respect.
But
not that I would do the same, but
like they're doing super well in that. The Wii U is like a failure. I mean, it's pretty much a failure.
It's pretty terrible.
Like there are some good games now.
In November, there were more Xbox 360s sold than Wii U's. Okay, The Xbox 360 was in the last week of its life cycle, and it sold more than the Wii U did, which is a current gen platform. It's a goddamn disaster.
It's not really current gen.
It's really not. It got HD. Like that was about all it got. That controller is like why the R&D on that controller, Nintendo? Just like they should have just kept doing what they did. The Wii was great because of like that controller was a big part of it. I mean, the motion controls on that were great. No one wants a big second screen tablet thing. Like no one asked for this. We didn't ask for this. Nintendo.
See, I think that they think you did because whenever the first DS came out, everybody was like, "This is ridiculous. Why would you want? Like, how are two screens going to work?" And it was freaking awesome in handheld. So I think they thought we can do this in the living room. It'll be great. It wasn't. It's not great.
It's not even that it's a bad idea. It's just that it hasn't been validated by any software that's out for it yet.
One of the Penny Arcade Awards was Rayman Legends, whatever one came out this year, and they said it was the only game that made the gamepad look like a good idea. It was the only game that's figured out how to do it so far.
Penny Arcade had a good idea. It was like release a D&D game, like a D&D style game, or just a generic role-playing game, and have the Dungeon Master hold that shit while three of your friends sit around with Wiimotes and control that way. Like
that would be fun as shit.
Take that shit. That's a good idea. I would play that.
I would play that. That would be great.
The only good thing about the gamepad is that if like for me, okay, my bathroom is real close to my room, so where my Wii is, so I can take a shit while still continuing my game.
Can you look around the corner?
Yeah. Most games.
Oh, you're playing on the pad.
Right. Most games can be transferred to the pad. You don't have to. You can like go into a setting somewhere in most games and select, okay, I want to play this on the gamepad instead of on the screen, and it'll switch whatever's on the screen and whatever's on the gamepad. Or if you're going to bed, you take that to bed with you. It's a good idea in that regard, and that I have gotten some use out of that. But other than that, it's just hasn't been incorporated into gameplay well enough to be validated in any way.
So, what'd you get for you got the Evermedia card? Did you get anything cool for Christmas besides that?
Yeah, my parents out of nowhere bought me a Comba fight stick. The same one you have, actually, Dan.
Yeah.
I'd stuck it on my wish list on Amazon, like, I don't know, probably right after you got yours, because I only have kind of cruddy, little wireless fight sticks, and they bought it for me out of nowhere. That was really sweet. My wife got me a mug with Dave Grohl's face on it, which is pretty awesome. And just like some other small stuff. Oh, my mother-in-law got me a Tetris lamp, which you could probably actually see in the back. It's not lit up, but that's about it.
Nice
Stuff. All right. What about you, Blacklite? What'd you do / play?
Oh,
get?
I don't want to tell you guys what I'm playing right now, but you probably know. Some of you.
He's playing World of Warcraft right now. His name is Yellow Chip, and he's on the Realm Storm scale, and he's a level 28 shaman. So.
Yeah, I'm a dwarf shaman. Way to dox me on the cast, man.
You're a dwarf shaman?
Are you not? It's the greatest.
You're playing a fucking dwarf.
Are you on a PvP server?
Dwarf is fucking top tier alliance.
Let me clarify. Is it a female dwarf?
No.
You've failed in every way.
When I played a dwarf mage, so...
Actually, I've always really liked dwarves. I've always played Horde, but I always liked dwarves a lot. And when I heard that dwarves could be shaman in Cataclysm, I got really excited, and I considered coming back at that time just for that. But I managed to hold fast. But the main reason I'm continuing to play is mostly comparative. Like I just want to see how it's changed, and I'm debating Draenor, so obviously I want to be ready for that. And it's okay. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to be the game it was, but it still does its whole shtick better than any other MMO that's tried to rip it off so far. True. I canceled my Final Fantasy XIV account. It's just not as good as this game. It's just not. But we'll see how long I can stick with it. I don't know if I'm going to take this character to max level. I have no plans right now for endgame, but we'll see. It could change. But I've also been hitting up.
I'm playing right now.
Hooray!
I bought
right now I'm soloing Omergon because I have all this fucking heirloom gear.
And you're a shaman.
Powered, and I'm an elemental.
OP. Yeah.
I'm OP as fuck.
Yep.
Chain lightning, everything.
Don't worry, I know.
So yeah, I've also been hitting up the roguelikes. I was playing Paranautical Activity, which is what John was talking about. It's voxel based, which I'm not crazy about because so many fucking games are voxel based these days, but it works. It actually looks really good. The only thing that looks kind of crappy is your gun, because it's the only thing that's up close and you can clearly see is made out of like blocks. It's made out of like Rubik's Cube blocks. But everything else actually looks pretty good at a distance while you're firing at it, and it's basically all the exact concepts of Isaac mixed with like a really fast paced FPS like Quake or Doom, and it's just a really good idea and it works. It's still early. Sorry? I
need to play it still.
You do? I gave it to you. I think,
know
right?
you did, yeah. I know. Thank you.
It's super, super good. And I highly recommend it to anybody. It's pretty cheap. I forget what it is when it's not on sale, but I got it on sale for a bunch of people for like $3 or something, so definitely worth.
Yeah, it was worth the $3 I paid.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's still early development, so there are a couple like game-breaking bugs. There's a bug currently where you'll show up on a floor sometime and there'll be no doors, so you can't continue the game. But the dev is actually a really cool guy. It was a small 2-person development team, and one of the devs came into my stream while I was streaming the game and started talking to me, and he's a funny dude. And he might be interested in coming on the podcast sometime. I mentioned it to him.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, he might come and chill out and hang out. But
where was he tonight? Jesus, no.
I didn't contact him too officially yet. And I've also been playing Risk of Rain, which is hard as fuck. I haven't beaten it yet. I probably will beat it at the pace I'm on because I do get a little bit further each time, but it's fucking hard, man. That game is fucking hard. I play it at work a lot because it runs great on a shitty laptop. So that game's like a 2D platformer. It was made by the same guys that made Starbound, I think. Either that or it was published by the same publisher. I'm not sure which.
I think it was published by the same. I think Chucklefish is the group that published both.
Oh, okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if Chucklefish was a developer or a publisher or what, but
it's a good game. It is tough as shit. Tim beat it, I guess.
Yeah, that's impressive. Because that game is really hard. It's also pretty luck based, but that game's really fun. It's 2D action platformer kind of thing. That's basically all I've been playing. I mean, I'm still playing TF2 and stuff, but that's all the new stuff. I actually didn't really get any games for Christmas, which is fine. Because I pretty much buy everything I want anyway. But I got some good stuff for Christmas, too. I got an espresso machine. Been playing with that more than any video games, really. Espresso.
Wow, nice, dude.
Just what somebody with severe insomnia needs.
Yeah, exactly. No. I'm actually not an insomniac. I sleep fine. I just sleep late. I sleep later than everyone else.
I can't do the Risk of Rain, by the way.
It's hard. Game. It's a
Did you get your sound work?
I can't platform, man. I just can't. I'm just not good at it.
It's one of the few platformers I've played that I prefer with a keyboard. I tried playing with a controller, and then I tried playing with a keyboard. I prefer the keyboard.
It's the only platform I've ever played that I thought played better with a keyboard.
I'll have to dip into it and hope that sound is fixed.
Yeah, you haven't gotten sound working yet, or?
I didn't try again because I was like, well, it's a platformer, so I'm gonna suck. So
seriously, if you're gonna try it, try before you try Paranautical Activity, because once you play that, you're done. Like, you were just so into Isaac and shooters, like you're gonna really like that game.
I should.
Yep, still early access, still limited, but still so good.
Nice.
Oh man, I forgot. You know what I also played? Snow, which in 4 years that game's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, when they finish it, yeah.
It is the literal definition of an early access game. No sound, buggy menus. You can play the game, but only for about 10 minutes at a time before it crashes. It's a great concept, but it needs a lot of work.
Yeah. All right. So John, how was your Christmas?
I didn't play any games. I had the worst travel experience of my fucking life. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So I took my flight from San Francisco to Chicago. Everything went well. I had a connection in Chicago. First, my flight said it was delayed. I was like, that's fine. Then my flight's canceled. It turns out that they canceled my flight because they didn't staff people for it. They just had this flight where they didn't staff anybody.
All right.
So I was like, okay. So then they tried to reschedule me for a flight on Christmas Day at fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
What?
Yeah, sure. Because that's why I'm going home. I love to go home and miss Christmas entirely. That's great. So I went and rented a fucking car, and then I drove through the night from Chicago to Pittsburgh, which was like 8.5 hours or something.
Wow.
And then I called them to tell them I was driving home, and I wanted them to pay for the rental car or refund my ticket. They were like, yeah, okay, just submit a report on this form here and we'll take care of it. So that happens. We go to check in for our flight last night for this morning, and they canceled our flight this morning because we didn't show up to our last flight that we informed them that we weren't going on because we wanted to drive.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Wow.
It was the it was the best. So, but
What
I had a
airline was
direct
this?
flight here this morning. It was United. I'm never flying on them again.
Good lord. I think that was
so
who
I got-
had a horrible
I
experience.
had a direct flight this morning at 7. I got home, like I got into my house in San Francisco at like 11 o'clock this morning, so it was fine. But I hate that airline. And then they had the audacity to try to ask me to move. They're like, well, we have this family with, and I was sitting with Ada. They were like, we have a family with 2 babies, and we need you to move. I was like, absolutely not. And she looked at me crazy. I was like, your airline is shit. I was like, and I am fucking angry with all of you. I will not do anything you ask me to do. She's like, well, that's really nice of you. I was like, your airline's fucking terrible. Like, and I took her name, and I was like, just because of that sarcastic, that's nice of you word, like, I'm going to contact your manager. Like, I'm not going to put up with your shit.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So it was a really, really bad experience. Yes.
Wow.
But other than that, I just got like money and gift cards and the normal Christmas stuff. I can't really get presents as big presents and stuff when I'm traveling as far as I am. So I just got gift cards and socks and some Under Armour shirts and stuff. And I bought myself a fucking really sweet pea coat it was a $550 pea coat. I got it on sale for $100.
Nice.
Not bad.
I took that.
Peacoat, classy as fuck.
And I mean, I haven't played any games. I'm playing WoW right now, but I was like most excited to come home, see my dog, and play video games. I'm done traveling. I've been in Pittsburgh 3 times in the last month, so.
Yeah. Damn. Well, I also had a shit travel experience out on the way out to, but it actually wasn't. Unfortunately, I can't even blame anyone. But it did suck anyway. So I was supposed to get into LA. I flew into the Burbank airport, by the way, which is the smallest airport I've ever flown into. That shit is tiny.
Was it nicer, though?
Yeah, it's pretty nice, but so I got to Phoenix. Like, I got through security ticketing and checking my bag in Pittsburgh in 9 minutes. I was at my gate. Like, destroyed it. And got to Phoenix early. Then my flight got delayed. Well, at first it was a half hour. Then it was an hour. Then it was 2 hours. Then it was 2.5 hours. So it ended up being a 2.5 hour delay.
That's crazy.
So instead of getting into LA at 9:30 Pacific, I got into LA at midnight Pacific. Nick Fenton picked me up in LA, and we went directly to Linz Washburn's birthday celebration out at a bar there in LA, which was awesome. There was this awesome band playing and shit, but I was 2.5 hours late. I would have gotten to hang out for 2.5 more hours with people, and that would have been with Scott and Hundar and some others out there, and Linz, of course. So that sucked real bad. But I can't really complain, although I have now gone through the fires of hell and traveled with 2 children.
Oh, how was that?
They were fine. They were good. If my children were not well behaved, that would be the worst thing possible.
You've seen them.
Was that
But-
their first time flying, too?
That was Hunter's second time, but he was an infant, like less than 6 months old the first time he flew. So I mean, he doesn't remember any of it.
I want to give one good shout out to some excellent customer service I received over Christmas. I ordered 2-day shipping from ThinkGeek, and they didn't come through with it. So they refunded me for all of my shipping and an extra $25.
Nice.
Wow.
So ThinkGeek, they're fantastic. Do recommend.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
So let's talk about shipping. Since you
Oh
just
god,
brought it
let's
up.
never talk about this.
So, on Friday, what would that have been? The 27th of December, my parts arrived for my streaming PC. 26 days after I
Wow.
ordered them,
That is incredible.
with no way to track them at all.
That is incredible.
The only things I got my shipping completely refunded by Newegg, but that I got the first week. I got $40 back on the order after basically telling their customer service person, like, listen, I know people in your company, and I've had them look into this for me. And basically it was handled poorly in every way possible. So basically, so she was like, "This is what I can do." I was like, "That's fine because at least you're listening to me." And it turns out, so get this, guess where the return address for the parts where it said they were shipped from. It said they were shipped from. So online it said Tennessee, their Tennessee warehouse, which has botched shipments for me before. Fucking California, which didn't even have any of the problems that the Tennessee warehouse did that caused it to be delayed in the first place.
Oh, wow.
I don't.
That's fucked up.
I don't understand. So I have a 4770K, 16 gigs of RAM, an SSD, 7870, and a micro ATX motherboard sitting here waiting. And tomorrow they will be installed because I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing that. I still have to have Sean come and help me configure audio delay things and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I did finally get those while I was in California a week after I had left. So yeah.
Good lord.
But I also decided that LA is a gross city and I don't want to live there.
That's the exact same conclusion I came to when I was there.
No offense to Nick Fenton and Scott, who actually do love it, and Rishi, who love it out there, and we're very good entertainers, and took me to some excellent restaurants, actually. But the
where Nick Fenton lives is not like.
Well,
is
no,
not
no,
LA.
I know.
It's really nice.
Like
Yeah, I like where Nick lives.
Yeah, we went to the pizza place, John, and it was fucking phenomenal.
It's so good. It's so good.
So, LA, it's just not my style of city. Also, every neighborhood except Nick's looked like a bad neighborhood. Just all of them. Even if they were a good neighborhood. It's just like, I don't know, just wasn't my thing. But I did get to go out into the desert areas of California for the first time because my parents have a house out near Palm Springs. So we went out in the desert, and that I would live out there. I'll tell you that right now. Palm Springs area is freaking awesome. Indio and Coachella Valley, very awesome. I would live out there. But as far as gaming, the only gaming I did this week was Hearthstone because I was able to do it out there. I was able to Hearthstone on the plane, so it's got a very tolerant
life of
That's
leisure.
impressive.
Yeah, it has a very tolerant ping.
Yeah, it's turn-based.
That Blizzard netcode.
Well, dude, you can tell. Trust me. When it's laggy, you can tell.
Yeah.
It takes, you'll play a card. You can't just, do 3 actions in a row. You gotta wait until the one before it's done before you do another one. But I've decided that unranked is way harder than ranked. It just is. Yeah, it just is. Cause people
take more risks in
people
unranked.
play
And they do
random
crazy weird shit.
bullshit, or they bring out these decks where I don't even know what's happening right now, or they do stuff like John just said. They'll play stuff that they would never normally play just to see if it works.
Right.
And then if it works out, you're just like, what the fuck just happened? So, but that was seriously all I played. I tried to play Paranautical Activity on my laptop, and it was like, nope, that's a lot of heat. So
that game doesn't run too hot on not great rigs.
Is that built on Unity?
I have no idea.
Unity.
It looks like it's built on Unity.
I think so, but I can't say for sure.
That engine is crazy versatile. That's one of the last game development tools I played with, and it's just here, make polygons happen. It's really easy to use.
So.
And Risk of Rain, on the other hand, will play flawlessly.
You're picking up like crazy.
Yeah, whoever's typing is picking up like crazy, and it's
That's
not
me.
John,
Sorry.
actually, so.
No, it's me. I'm playing Isaac.
So, that was my week. And one more thing in this section. I bought DayZ, I bought Proteus, and I bought Pixel Junk Eden on the Steam sale. What did you guys get?
Oh, God. I need to pull my transaction.
I didn't get anything. I have everything.
Well,
Everything I wanted anyway.
Let's see. Let me pull up my transaction history because I bought a few things. I bought a bunch of things for other people. I just kind of went through people's wish lists and bought them games.
I always forget how to look at what you just bought on Steam.
Yeah, me too. It's just under your normal profile, I think.
Activity, maybe?
I don't know. Oh no, it's up under. If you go into Steam and click on like up the top right or account, like so, and your whatever your username's account is, and hit account details. I think it's under there. Yeah, it's under there.
Count.
Let's see. I bought. Whoa, I bought more than I thought.
You got it.
Oh no.
Oh, mistakes have been made. I bought some DLC for Pinball Effects 2 that I wanted. I bought. Dude, that game is really good and it's free to play. And it was on the One Humble bundle, and that was what got me started. But I bought the Star Wars tables for that. I bought Contraption Maker. I bought Electronic Superjoy. I bought Bit Trip Runner 2, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Legend of Dungeon, Paranautical Activity, Nemoria, Pac-Man Championship Edition DX Plus, and Snow Starter Pack.
Pac-Man.
Dude, that game is awesome. That game is so great.
I didn't want to face all of these at once, but here goes. Deadpool, Shelter, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, Prison Architect, Steam Marine, Spelunky, Van Helsing, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, Cook Serve Delicious, the Borderlands 2 Game of the Year Edition, Paranautical Activity, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Game of the Year Edition, Legend of Dungeon, Risk of Rain, Fallout 3.
Wow.
Wait,
Were you sitting on some bank there for a little while? Saving up your
I
dollars.
I actually spent way less on gifts than I had anticipated this year, so I had some free cash, and that doesn't even include all of the games I bought for friends, because I did buy a lot of games for friends this year.
Serve Delicious, I kind of want to get.
I haven't tried it yet. I was debating streaming it. I ended up not finding the time, but it looks fun.
I don't know if I would recommend it or not. I feel like the controls for it are pretty intense. Like, you're going to use your entire keyboard to play it. If you have a mechanical keyboard,
man.
I don't know how the hell you would stream that game, because you would just hear like a Gatling gun the whole time you're playing.
Oh, kind of like when you wouldn't mute your mic.
Yeah, shut your dick mouth.
when you podcast.
Got him!
Now, John, now you know exactly what Brandon used to yell at you about, because I remember being on earlier episodes of the podcast and being like, John, mute your mic, and you would just tell him to fuck off.
To be fair, Brandon yells at a lot of stuff.
That's true.
That's true, yeah.
Well, and I'm not Brandon. Brandon needs to be told to fuck off every now and then.
So,
Speaking
What
of
about you,
telling
John?
people to fuck off, I've been watching Trailer Park Boys.
Hey, I haven't bought a single game on the Steam sale.
Damn. What about you, Dan?
I mean,
What'd you get?
I've been gone, so you know.
Yeah.
just the three,
Steam has an Android app, so
just the
I don't know.
three games, Daisy and Proteus and Pixel Junk Eden, and Pixel Junk was 99 cents. It just looks sweet as fuck, so I was like, all right, play this. But that was all for me. So we're gonna take a 2-minute commercial break, guys, and then we're gonna talk about what we're looking forward to in 2014 as the awards take another week off. So we'll be back in 2 minutes.
wait, we're not doing an award tonight?
Nope.
Yeah, not enough people, really.
I guess that's true. All right, I'm gonna close this
Dota
award.
2 wins, whatever award it was.
It was best single player co-op.
Yep, Dota 2. That
Dota's a
training
co-op
mode,
game.
dude.
I guess it is technically a co-op game, yeah.
Has that training mode.
I cannot figure out how push to call works in Skype, so I'm just gonna not play Isaac, which is a bummer because I have Polly and the 9-volt right now.
I don't think I've ever gotten pushed to talk to work in this fucking program. Like,
I don't even know
You
where
have-
the setting
you have
for
a
it is.
membrane keyboard, though, don't you?
yeah, it's pretty. Sorry, what?
You have a membrane keyboard, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, you're a fucking pleb.
Yep.
I actually just bought a second mechanical keyboard because I can't type on not this now.
I'm actually. It's still really loud when I type though. If I full on type, or if I'm like mashing space a lot, like I do in like TF2 or something, it's still really loud because my boom arm is clamped to my rickety ass like metal frame desk, and the vibrations like travel up and it gets picked up in the mic, and it sounds really annoying. Like
Sure.
that shit. It's fucking terrible.
What switches do you use, John?
Blues.
Blues, yeah. I got the
Does
Monoprice
it work?
Blues. The Monoprice Blues keyboard, $50. Pretty solid investment.
I only use 10 keyless as well. I
See,
have
I
a
can't do
CM
that.
Storm Quickfire at work, and then I use a Philco Majestouch 10 kilos at home that Tetra Ninja bought me for my birthday.
I just bought Fat Attack 82. He sold his Battlefield 3 Razor Ultimate Edition to me for $40, so that should be here soon. It has blues.
I swear by blues. I actually want to try greens.
I actually really would like to try. Did you see the RGBs?
Yep.
I'd like to see how those go. I guess Corsair has an exclusivity contract with them, though. Next spring they'll be releasing them in only their keyboards.
All right, we are back from commercial, and we do have 2 more awards to give out this year. The 2 biggest ones, really: single player / co-op game of the year and game of the year. If you haven't, go vote on the site, KBMOD.com. We have community polls up for 4 different awards so far. We're going to be putting more up this week. And when we get done with Game of the Year, Story of the Year, and we get to our big sort of awards presentation show, we'll read off the community choices for each one as well that night. So I even put in some more choices from people who were very adamant about certain things that will not win at all, but I put them on there anyway, because we got polls working on the site. So go definitely check those out if you haven't already. But 2014 just around the corner, even though our 2013 awards are going to bleed into it. What are you guys looking forward to? What are you guys looking forward to, game-wise, industry-wise?
Warlords of Draenor, man. Want it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm still not sure how I feel about it. But
I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I actually bought Pandaria on a big sale because I figured I should have everything else before that. But I want Draenor just because I can skip all the stuff that like I'd have to grind through and just roll a 90 and start.
Yeah, that is a pretty good plus about coming back is the instant 90. But
it seems convenient, but at the same time, the leveling process seems really fucking lenient right now.
Yes, it is. Super easy.
I got level 25 in 2 days of casual play. Like, not even a real hard grind session. Like, that was unheard of back in the day. Like, last time.
Oh, yeah.
25 in 2 days, unless you were, like, a fucking monster or, like, Chinese slave. Like, you didn't get 25 in 2 days.
No, you could probably hit 20. If you really ground it out, you could hit 20 in a day.
Yeah, like 20, 22, not 25. I've probably done 22, to be honest. But it also helps that... well, thank you. It also helps that like you rapid regen, but when you're outside of combat, it tends to... It falls off as you get higher level, so I guess there is still a point to there being food and water in the game, but... you like, for the longest time, I didn't have to even like heal myself or drink or anything. Really easy.
I want Titanfall pretty badly as well. I don't have my hopes up too much, but I just kind of, I want it.
I'm the same way.
Yep. Yeah.
So, to me, the big thing that has changed about 2014 is things like Watch Dogs, which had the hype train in full effect for a November release, and now has been pushed back. What I'm hearing and heard on some news sites and on Giant Bomb as well is that it may have been delayed even further than spring to fall of 2014. A whole year, basically, after it was supposed to come out. So
I'd be okay with that. I mean,
I would not be okay with that. I think that pretty much neuters that game. And if it sucks, then they're totally...
If it sucks, then yeah, they're boned.
But I'm not even looking that forward to it now. Now it is essentially for me Dark Souls 2, because there's going to be more accessible modes of that game, and they were already making it for PC in the first place. So I've hoped that the port won't be an utter piece of trash. So I'm actually really looking forward to Dark Souls 2. It's also I think it comes out in March or end of March, and of course Titanfall. I mean, that looks really good for me too. And a full release of Hearthstone at some point would be quite nice. Or Hearthstone
for tablet, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hearthstone for tablets, which would be the death of everything wonderful that I love in my life. But Watch Dogs is kind of... I mean, man.
I mean, it's disappointing.
I don't really
that you have to
disagree
wait.
with you much. Like, I have almost forgot about that game now. Actually,
Yeah, it's.
like I almost forgot that it existed.
I am pretty pumped for The Crew, which was the other game that got delayed. With
That looks really good.
because that's multiplayer, and it looks like it's going to be a fun multiplayer racing game. I would be excited for The Division, but I don't think it's coming out in 2014. I think it's
No, I doubt it.
2015.
If it is, it's like going to be winter.
Yeah, and I doubt I doubt it's going to at this point. What I'm also hoping to see is some console games that come out, or some new. I think we can all say this with a new gen. We should get some new IPs that are good. Rise was not a new IP that is good, so we need something that we need something that is actually going to wow us. I think I don't want Assassin's Creed 5. I mean, we're going to get it. I don't want it.
Does anyone want it though?
Ubisoft.
Well, apparently, yeah, they want it. Black Flag was
I've heard it's great.
Pretty good,
to be honest.
It seems like they're riding that franchise into the dirt, man.
Well, that's AAA gaming.
Yeah.
They figured out how to just pump out title after title at this point. It's just.
I haven't heard a bad review of Assassin's Creed 4 though. To be
Yeah,
honest.
I mean,
No, I haven't
to be
either.
fair, I'm sure a lot of people are clamoring for it, but I don't know. I'm one of those people that like you can't give me too much of a good thing, or else I'll get sick of it. Like I'm like that with cookies right now because fucking it's Christmas and people are bringing in like piles upon piles upon piles of cookies into the office. So I've basically been eating nothing but pure sugar and lard for the past like 3 weeks, and now all I want to eat is like salad and protein because I'm dying. I'm dying, guys. And it's like that with AAA games. Like, calm down. You know, you gotta have a little bit of less amazing stuff between all of the amazing stuff, or else the amazing stuff isn't going to seem so amazing anymore.
So, what is the next called? Is Treyarch's out, right? Treyarch's out.
Are they really?
I think they're done.
No, I don't think
really?
they are.
Really?
think so.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything about this.
Or is it that they added a third studio? Is that what happened?
The Sledgehammer
they-
worked with
yeah.
Infinity Ward, is what happened. I don't think
Okay.
they didn't help Treyarch with the last one, as far as I
Well,
understand.
we'll see. I mean, we'll see if it's Black Ops 3 or something else. It won't be Ghost 2. I can almost guarantee
Yeah.
that.
Treyarch is the one that's actually making the better Call of Duty games now. If they got rid of them, Call of Duty would
Yeah.
just be dead because Ghost is a fucking joke.
Yeah,
Call of Duty would be finally on its way out.
but
I hope so. That would be great if it could just stop.
Would be pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we're all forgetting about what could be the greatest release for PC next year. Grand Theft Auto 5
Yeah.
on the PC and next-gen platforms, because I guarantee you, whenever that does come out, it will have some sort of added thing, whether
Right.
it's better graphics or performance or whatever it's going to be.
Or multiplayer that fucking
for-
works.
For new consoles, and therefore for PC as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I started on Xbox and was like, well, it's fun, but it kind of runs like shit, and I don't want to play it like this. Like, I don't want to mar my experience with this game that it's glitchy and buggy and really not that great of an experience when it's this bad. But the game itself was so much fun. The heist missions are great, and the stories are really interesting. It runs like ass. It's just not good.
Yeah, it does. It does.
What I'm hoping... go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm looking forward to a few things coming up this year. Not video game related are two TV shows, Space Dandy, which I talked about before. It's just
Space Dandy.
Space Dandy, which I honestly, if I looked at it, I'd be kind of like, okay, that looks silly, but I'm not going to watch it. But it's made by the creators of Cowboy Bebop, so
Yep.
I'm completely in.
Sold.
And then the other thing is there's a new season of the Boondocks coming out, which is one of my favorite shows. That show is goddamn hilarious. And on top of that, there's 2 indie games coming out. There's Shovel Knight, which I don't know when that's supposed to be out, because I think it was supposed to be out for holiday this year, but it ended up not making it. So I haven't really kept tabs on Shovel Knight. And then also found out after emulating it for the emulation station, I found out they're making a new River City Ransom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
From a completely different studio who actually got the blessing of the owner of the franchise, and are being consulted by the original designer of the game, and it looks fucking awesome. I think we're looking at like 4-player online co-op.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Really, really big hub world kind of gameplay, and it just looks really fun. I actually wish I had known about the Kickstarter before the Kickstarter was over, but they did meet their goal, so that's cool.
I am looking forward to Sherlock as far as TV.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones again.
Game of Thrones, of course. And but Sherlock, I think January 14th.
The Penguins winning a Stanley Cup. Looking forward to that.
Well,
That would be pretty great if that could happen.
Anytime we can get some healthy players, that might actually occur.
They're just out now. They'll be healthy by the time the playoffs roll around. It's a better time to get injuries.
True. But yeah, game-wise, Watch Dogs is kind of off my list. As I said, Titanfall, Dark Souls 2 for me is big because I'll get to play Dark Souls from the beginning of a game, and also at a level where, like, I can kind of make my way through it if I want, and also on a port that's not garbage, so that'll be good.
Games for Windows Live.
Oh, it'll be gone. It'll be gone. It won't even be. You can't even make games on the platform anymore.
Yep.
Which is good. Hey, we can all look forward to that.
I do.
Absolutely. I'm putting that on my list.
I think it's July.
Once, we just need Uplay to go away and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
July 14th, I believe, is the last day, and then Ultra Street Fighter 4 in August as well, which will not have that, which will use Steam matchmaking or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
We mentioned The Division, people in chat, and then someone said it was Q4 2014. Is Witcher 3 actually coming out in 2014? Because Witcher 3, that'll be the kind of...
I didn't think it was slated for 2014. I thought it was slated for 2015.
If Witcher 3 comes out, that will be... I'll just say it, that has already won Best Technical Achievement 2014. So we don't even need to do that award. We'll just get that out of the way now. But so that is kind of what we are looking forward to.
Actually, I would say I'm looking forward to Isaac Rebirth. I want that game.
Of course.
And I just found out, so if you follow Edward on Tumblr, he answers like every question anybody asks him about it. It doesn't come out until like Q4 next year, and that's a big bummer because I thought it was like a Q1 game.
Yep.
But they're not even announcing a release date until Q2.
I don't know when Mugenics is coming out either.
That looks good. I want to play that.
It's If you like Pokemon, you'll like Crazy Cat
And
Lady.
Cats.
And Cats, yeah.
What's the other game that CD Projekt Red is working on? The Cyberpunk game?
Yeah, it's not 20. That's the 2016.
Is it 2016? Oh man, that's a bummer because that game looks amazing. I want to play that. I want to play that game.
Witcher 3 is Q2 2014. So there.
Really?
It's already won an award, so that's good. I don't think 2015 for Cyberpunk is realistic whatsoever. If that's 2015 to 2017 was the kind of when it's done was the actual date they gave. So, but new Fallout. I mean, we know Fallout 4 is in development.
Right.
But that's all we know.
Watching Elder Scrolls Online flop, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that. I don't think that game's
Things
gonna be
that
very
are things that's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. What do we want to put an over under right now on how long it'll take for it to go free to play, or just shut down completely?
God,
I would.
not that long.
I'd say 6 months free to play.
So that's kind of what we're looking forward to in 2014. We'll ask the other guys when they come back to the cast, hopefully next week. But we're going to dive right into some viewer questions here. And we have many. We have many this week on what will be probably a little bit of a shorter podcast. And this first one is an extremely important question that I actually don't know if we've been asked a lot of do you prefer this or this questions over the course of 121 episodes. I don't know if this one's ever been asked. So
It's a good one.
From Oh Hey Dialect, or however you want it. It's fucking dialect. I know who you are.
Oh, hi.
Pancakes, waffles, and he specifies not the blue kind of waffles. Or French toast. Which is the best?
I would say waffles. Mostly because you can order them.
Blah, you're muted.
It's got to be what you're
Chocolate
in the
chip
mood
pancakes.
Pancakes, John?
Chocolate chip pancakes.
Chocolate
chip
chip.
pancakes.
Okay.
Or the Cinnabon flavored ones from IHOP. Fucking incredible.
Those are really good and will kill you. I'm gonna have to say waffles, but it's so close because it's really a what you're in the mood for kind of thing. Sometimes I can go for a waffle, sometimes I go for a pancake. Less frequently French toast.
But you can always go for French toast though. Like if somebody's like, "Do you want French toast?" You won't be like, "No."
The answer is
almost. If
almost
somebody is
never
like,
no.
"Do you want a waffle?" Yeah. But a waffle I will turn down sometimes, and pancakes as well, because I know pancakes make me feel overly full, whereas French toast doesn't.
Yeah,
French toast is a better all-around of the three, I think.
French toast is also, they're all versatile in their own ways, but French toast is, I think, the most versatile because you can French toast anything. If you wanted to, you could fucking French toast a pancake.
And what it really comes down to is none of these, it doesn't matter what you're having if you're topping it with Nutella.
That's true.
Because it's just fucking
Have you ever
incredible.
made Nutella stuffed French toast?
No, but I'm gonna now.
I make chocolate chip Eggo waffle Nutella sandwiches with syrup on them.
That sounds better than Nutella stuffed French toast.
One time I got this nice like wide doughy kind of bread, and I scrambled up some eggs, and I put it inside, in between two slices of bread with the crust cut off, and then crimped it with a fork, so it made kind of like a ravioli of bread full of eggs, and then I French toasted that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm with John on this, although the reasoning behind that had never hit me until now. John really had this well thought out. The overly full feeling of pancakes is a downer. I'm with you on that. Waffles are definitely my least favorite of the three. I don't dislike waffles, but like if there's a choice of the three, I'm almost always getting a pancake or French toast option. And let us be clear as well, if it's some sort of fruit pancake or if there's a really good option that way, you're almost going to lean that way anyway. Like, for instance, the Cinnabon ones at IHOP.
I miss my IHOP. They turned into a Pizza Hut.
Fantastic. So I'm going to go with French toast on this. That is a very good question. I think blue waffles are actually the least favorite of any of this.
Yeah, probably a fair guess.
So, this next one, some advice for Werner I asks, I need a new pair of headphones for porn because my semen has covered and ruined my old pair. Any suggestions for a new pair? If you're only
always
using...
Beats by Dre.
Beats
by Dre. You want to make music? Beats by Dre. You're an audiophile? Beats by Dre. You want to make a fashion statement? Beats by Dre.
You want to be unique?
Always Beats by Dre.
Yeah, that's. I feel like if you're using them for exclusively for porn, just get the cheapest pair you can, because if you're going to cover them in semen and ruin them, you're going to need to replace them on a regular basis.
Well, then how are you going to really fully enjoy the audio quality of
fine,
sound direction? How are you going to appreciate the guy who made the porn's vision if you can't properly hear what
this will be the only time in my life I recommend Beats.
And the only way you can hear the bass is Beats by Dre.
That's exactly why I would recommend Beats.
Literally the only way you can even hear any bass.
When that dude is grunting, you want that thick muted bass.
You want to feel his orgasm grunts in your chest.
You want to feel those dudes loudly as possible.
When he does the dick tap, you want to feel that tap.
You want it to you want that tap to just rattle your ears. Beats by Dre every time.
I'm gonna say Siberia V2s because they release almost no sound. They're completely sound canceling, which is a bit of a risk because that means you can't hear somebody sneaking up on you or knocking at your door, which some people might enjoy a bit more. I don't know what you're into. But then on top of that, they're white, so when you jizz on them, you can't really see it.
That's true.
It's like black pants versus white pants, only reverse that.
Okay, all right. Some sound reasoning. I would personally go for the monoprice earbuds for the reasons that Hex has already listed. They're $7 each. So when you ruin them with this weirdly well-covering jizz spray that you have that goes inside the ear
cups. Jizz spout.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
It comes like a whale's head.
Onto your headphones? Is that the thing? Like,
you might want to get that shit checked. If
are you that level of audiophile that's the only way you can come?
I mean...
oh my god, ultrasound! Oh my god!
Actually, good point, Gap, man. Wireless or Bluetooth may be a good decision here. Then you can run with dick in hand for cleanup. if necessary.
That's true.
Um,
That's true. I don't know. I get mine all over the place. I mean, I don't know how you guys jerk off, but let me just make sure I understand what's going on here. You make a ring with your finger, and then you wick up and down your penis, and then eventually you just pee everywhere.
That sounds right. Yeah, that's as close as I can describe it, I guess.
Werner in chat.
So, yeah.
Can't believe you answered my question. Landlord, I'm gonna make sure that Monoprice puts that behind the marketing. Waterproof your skull from jizz with Monoprice earbuds.
Earplugs, yeah.
That's going to be on their official page as a review from KBMOD.com.
I think those little rubber stoppers you can put in your ear when you're a swimmer.
Yeah.
Speaking of swimmers, you know.
Pain is honey, yes. All right, this one's probably going to have an obvious answer from at least a couple of us. The one lonely geek, if you could only play one pre-2000 game for the rest of your life, what would you play and why?
Come on, are you kidding me? Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah,
it's
it's easy for you.
Easy.
Yep.
It's
The
large.
16th of March, 1999, I'd still be playing EverQuest.
Not
Oh,
bad.
that actually might be a better answer because there's
Still gets content.
Because it's still evolved. Yeah, it's still, and plus you can just level a new character and everything changes.
yeah.
Wow.
True.
I would probably say Link's Awakening.
EverQuest.
Link's Awakening? Really?
98. Link's Awakening DX. Yep, best game ever.
It's a great game, but there's really only like one way to play it. You know, you can.
I don't care.
add people to
Do you know how
challenge.
many times I've beat that game front to back? Like, it's over 20.
I was thinking
impressive.
Final Fantasy VII was my initial thought here. Then I thought about Mario Kart 64.
Good
Man,
one.
do I love Mario Kart 64. And
game.
then I could play it with friends, too. And everybody loves playing Mario Kart 64. So
Sure.
I might go with that, or, as an off-the-board pick, WCW versus NWO for the N64. One of the great N64 games
Yeah.
that I hope everybody has played, because that was one
Oh,
of the
I-
best
it was a
wrestling
good
games
one,
of
man.
all time.
World Tour and Raw were the two of them. I think Raw was the one that came out afterwards. It was basically the same game but had more features.
Yeah. You could...
The what
Go
the
ahead.
hell's the name of the splash that you could do where you jump forward and you do a moonsault instead of doing a moonsault backwards, you do it forwards. There's
Frog
only one
splash?
character on it World Tour that could. No, it's not a frog splash. You do
Oh.
a front flip, but you jump forward. It's like a gainer, but it's a wrestling move.
I don't
But
know.
there's only one character that could do that on NWO World Tour, and it was like a secret move, and it was the best
No idea.
fucking game.
I just remember you could do like the Royal Rumble type mode in there and all kind of God.
Oh.
All the dudes were just blocks of polygons, but it was still amazing. You knew that those blocks of polygons were Kevin Nash, and the other blocks of polygons were Ric Flair or whoever it was going to be. But God, and you used to have to mash buttons so hard because that was how you got out of like being dazed in that game.
Yeah.
Many an N64 controller was broken
Destroyed,
horribly.
yeah. You'd have to. I think one of the things you had to like do the
Shooting star press.
There
circles.
it is. Shooting
Shooting
star
star press.
press.
That sounds familiar, actually. You'd have to rotate the thumbstick, and those thumbsticks were not built to last.
No, there
The
used
other
to
game
be-
that killed those was Mario Party. There was a lot of mini games where you had to rapidly rotate the thumbstick, and Mario Party and WCW versus NWO they were both massive controller killers, and that's why a lot of people have like limp dick thumbsticks on their old N64
Also, there
controllers.
used to be like a little pile of powder in the
Mhm.
bottom
Yeah.
of the joystick thing from the
Always.
thing wearing.
Yep.
My brother-in-law was over here the other day and was looking through my like controller bucket of yesteryear and found like a mint N64 controller with a joystick that worked. He went, "Oh my god, you have a good one?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he went, "Can I take this home?" Because he still plays his N64. I was like, "I guess so." He was stunned because when I used to go over there when I was dating his sister, all their controls were destroyed. Like
Yep.
every single one of them were wrecked.
I bet he loved him some Mario Party. I bet.
Yeah.
Bet.
All right, this next question is not an obvious answer, as you might think. Theta Plays Games asked, if you really hate someone, which Steam game should you send them? Now, before we answer, my initial thought was something like Aliens Colonial Marines or Ride to Hell Retribution, but then I was like, those
just
can
won't
be
play.
fun too, because they're terrible. So, like, they're terrible to the point of being hilarious. So maybe you could get that out of them. So I was trying to think. I didn't really have an answer, but I was, like, trying to think, what game is just horrendous in a way where it's unplayable?
I would say Infestation
Ghosts.
Survivor Stories.
Ghosts is a good one.
Ghosts is a
Ghosts is a
good idea.
one.
Infestation's not bad either, but there's actually people who like it.
True.
Like, I don't think anybody likes Call of Duty Ghosts on PC.
No,
Nobody.
Not on PC. And
See, I feel like that's probably a better answer because, like, if you're a COD fan or someone who's played other COD, you're like, yeah, I could give this a try. With Infestation, at least there's other people playing it. You could get into COD Ghosts and be like, well, fuck, I'm the only idiot here. So it would really be a terrible game.
You would just be really frustrated. You end up playing with the same 20 people, and you'd be so close to recapturing the glory, but it's just it's not there.
There's a few that I came up with. Lucius, which
No idea.
on the
Oh, yeah, I
surface
forgot
they'll
about
be
that
like,
one.
whoa, this looks pretty interesting, and then nothing will fucking work at all.
And then just a
Otherwise,
dick slap in the face.
Nothing will work at all after they get in the game. Has a solid 59 on Metacritic, but it's not even that good. Lucius was one. What else was I thinking was pretty terrible?
What was that game we talked about on the Worst Award that wasn't finished that got onto Steam?
Oh, Dark Matter, but that's actually a good game.
Oh, all
That's
right.
the problem there.
Yeah,
but they would never be able to finish it, so there's that.
Right.
What about just like Amnesia? Great game, but it's just they will shit their pants.
What about Nextwiz?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my god, Nexus, or however you pronounce it.
Nextwiz, yeah, it's
Nextwiz. Yeah.
Yeah,
it wanted to be rot, really. It was an arcade
wanted to be
like
Quake.
UT. Yeah, it wanted to be Quake so bad, and it was a really really bad game.
I was really bummed out about that too.
think a lot of people
Blacklight Tango Down. Excellent suggestion.
How about Tribes Ascend? Just send them a link to playing Tribes Ascend.
I actually think that any multiplayer game that you know is completely dead is probably the best answer to this. Like Special Forces Team X.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Another
there
good
you go.
one. Good game, but you'll never be able to actually play it. So therefore, it's a slap in the face for this person you hate.
I agree with Gatman, actually. Find one of your friends that only has a 64 gig solid state drive and then send them the Force Unleashed because it's a 30 gig install for 5 hours of gameplay.
The Force Unleashed. Good fucking lord.
So those are some pretty good ones. But yeah, I just think any dead multiplayer experience is probably going to be your best bet for someone you don't like. And you can get it cheap with Nextwiz. It's like $9.
True. I might send somebody I hated a Hearthstone beta key so they can experience the frustration I feel when I play that game and hopefully get really addicted and spend like their kids' college funds on it. Like I want to destroy their family with that game. It's possible.
Oh god, Bomberman Act Zero? Is that a real thing?
Oh, was that like the realistic Bomberman? They made like all the Bombermens looked like Samus Aran. I think it was terrible.
Jesus. Okay, those are some pretty... Don't buy any of these games that we've suggested.
Except Amnesia, you can buy
Mute
all.
yourself, typing guy.
Sorry, I stopped typing.
I'm gonna kill you. Alright.
You're a shitlord.
This next one from @nicknamed Steve. Who should I contact in case of an emergency?
None of us.
My answer is Billy Blanks. He looks capable. He did Tybo.
I would go with Carlton Banks. He's pretty responsible.
Carlton Banks? Pretty responsible,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a responsible guy.
Call Jim Leahy. He will help you out of a bind.
He's a drunk bastard. I don't know if you want to call
He
him
is.
Leahy. Don't call Scott Fisher. Don't call Scott Fisher.
Absolutely not. He won't answer.
He won't answer. So that's a problem. Don't call Michael Chesna, because he will say he's coming to hang out with you the one night you're in LA, and then he'll start streaming. So,
Oh, scumbag.
and then he'll come out later anyway. But you'll be like,
But
wow,
still.
you're a dick. I would call Steven Seagal. That's who I would call.
It's a
Still
solid
think he can get
choice.
shit done. You're looking for like guy who can get shit done. I'm gonna say Joe Pesci.
Casey Tron? Interesting choice.
I wouldn't recommend it, but you can give it a shot. Let me know how that turns out.
Casey Tron.
She might have to real quickly raise $100,000 to get to where you are. So that's
122,000. 122.
122. John, that's the number on call. All right. This next one is a somewhat serious question from at I am Cyberwaste. Shout out to Cyberwaste. Is the current trend of charging higher and higher prices for Steam Early Access titles anything to worry about? I would say yes. Yeah, unequivocally yes, as a matter of fact. There are games that are going to do it right, and a lot of this is going to be on the consumer, in my opinion, perhaps too much. Also, Valve needs to really, really start vetting these a little better than they are. There hasn't been too many cases so far of sort of rip-offs, but for instance, DayZ, I think, in my opinion, has done the best job of having an early access Steam page. When you
it's gonna be the same price when it's launched, I think.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Well, it's not even that. It's like when you go on the DayZ page, like let's say you're browsing around and God forbid you haven't heard of DayZ, or you think it is the full game. You know, you click on it, maybe you think it's the full game. On that page, in big capital letters, in like 7 places, is we don't actually recommend you buy this game yet. It's buggy, it's broken, like there's going to be times when it's not going to be accessible. Like they spell it out in plain text there, like what you should expect when getting onto this. Like this is an early access game. Like stuff is going to be super broken. You may not be able to play sometimes. Servers may be down. So I think that's good. Rust also does that quite well.
Yeah.
They even say there's changes we're going to make you're not going to like. But if you want to get in on this, you can get in on this and help us create the game.
Starbound did it as well.
Yep. Then there's games like Snow, which I like a lot. The page for Snow, though, doesn't really make clear how little is actually working in Snow.
I feel like if you're an early access dev, if you're Valve, that's like, okay, we got to get some early access games. I feel like the first requirement should be sound. Are there any sounds, even menu sounds, that I would be happy with? And that game is cool, and it has a lot of potential because there aren't, not a lot of companies are making, SSX games or, freestyle snowboarding or skiing or games like that anymore. So there's potential there, and it's on a good engine. But sound is a thing that doesn't happen. The first time I played the game, it said content loading in pixelated letters across my entire screen while I was playing the game. It's really, really early, and it's a game that shouldn't have made it to early access.
I don't know, it says now Snow is currently in development by a small team of independent developers from Sweden. We're constantly working on the game to add new features, tweak existing features, blah, 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 blah. Our development is supported by you. Okay, so it says it there. Now, this is the problem, though. Up in the description, it says early access game, of course, like all early access pages do, in big text right under the trailer/screenshot section. It says genre early access. But Snow is the upcoming free-to-play open-world winter sports game, giving the players to freely explore a massive mountain environment on skis or snowboard, alone or with friends. Players may also take part in solo or multiplayer events and challenges, customize their character with you can customize your character, but that's about the only true thing in it right now. You can't really play with other people. The menus don't even work right. There is no sound still. This is months afterwards, by the way. Whereas DayZ, you open the page, it says DayZ is a zombie survival game. It's broken as shit, is essentially what the first paragraph says. That is what needs to happen. Valve need to step into pages like Snow's page and be like, you need to make clear what is working and what is not on this page right now. And Snow even has a $45 Founders Pack.
Yeah, that's excessive. And a lot of people are in the chat right now are saying, well, listen to your own music or blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure,
that's not
but
the issue, really.
It's not
that's so not that you can't just take away
if there's no sound, it's clear.
And then say well, you could just fill that back in, like fucking.
Sound is one of the most basic features to implement, though.
Yeah.
If I buy a fucking car and it has no wheels, if the guy told me you could just put on your other wheels from your other car, I would punch him in the fucking throat. Are you kidding me? Fuck off. That's not an answer.
From an immersion standpoint, like just the sound of, and it's not like snow would even need a very complex level of sounds, like some wind sounds from when you're skiing and something that kind of sound like. Even Rust, which doesn't have good sounds, has sounds. Like when you are mining and it sounds like you're hitting a basketball off of a cement wall. It's really like jarring, but at least it's an attempt. So, Snow was like, nah, fuck, you figured out yourself.
A couple things I want to address in chat. Dirk Deadeye, I think early access game purchase should be an escrow. If you don't like it, you can get your money back or percentage. I agree, actually. Then you lose access to the game, but I totally agree. If Steam could implement some sort of thing, Origin has refunds for first day purchases. So I totally agree that maybe should be a thing, although they need to implement that system in Steam and stop exploitation of it, to be honest. But also, to address what Mark, Alsham Nowow, said, if you buy an early access game and you don't like it, then it's your fault. I like Snow a lot.
So do I.
Playing Snow a lot. I'm just saying the page needs to tell you more upfront what is working and what is not working. That's all. Like
it's fine to take a risk on an early access game, but it would be nice to have some indicator of. It would just be honest to have an indicator of how far along the game is and what.
Early access right now is a term that just means the game isn't done yet, but it doesn't. Game could be ready for release tomorrow, or it could be pixels.
That's everything from Snow, which has no sound, to fucking Infestation Survivor Stories, which does not work, to Hearthstone, which is a fully functioning game. Like those are all technically early access. It means it's a pretty much meaningless term.
Yeah,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just think if we just need a little better vetting system, and there needs to be a requirement for more information on these Steam pages.
I think one of the things that will help is they just introduced that the community review system that's on every game page, so you can scroll down and say, like, you can see other people who've played the game.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking of an early access game, your best course of action is probably like just YouTube it, see who else is playing it, and see like, okay, maybe Snow doesn't have sound, and they address that. And that if it's kind of sad you have to do that, but at the same time, there are ways to get around it. It's the same with like a Kickstarter. Do your research before you throw that money away.
That was kind of like there was a game I was looking at. It looked a lot like, and maybe like Forge or like Chivalry, it was like a third person like melee like fantasy game, and it looked pretty interesting. It looked very cool. I liked the art style. All the screenshots looked really fancy. So then I YouTubed it, and it looked like fucking shit. You should do that all the time. Always YouTube a game if you're not sure about early accessing, unless it's like $3. If it's like $3, just fucking buy it. But
there you go.
Be sure to check it out on Blackliteattack's channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I
still upload videos.
As a kind of final word on this, I just hope that we don't see games that are... I hope we don't see, for instance, Assassin's Creed 6 on early access.
No, that would be bad. See, I don't think we have a worry about that.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I hope it does not. Because there's a lot of early access games now, and there's going to be a lot more. So I
don't think a big company like Ubisoft or Activision would take that chance.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I just hope we don't see every game that comes out being
early access
on Steam, being like early access. So
I mean, it's right now the people we're worried about when we're talking about early access are scummy small developers. There are some small developers who are great and who can make great use of this tool of early access, but there are some who are just complete scumbags.
For instance, War Z, which is part of the reason early access exists, actually.
Yeah.
So that you can put a "this game is not finished" tag on a game. But moving on. This is a question for everyone now that Blacklite is back into WoW. What class race did you play in WoW? What are your best memories of playing the game? This is a question from Anil DC. I hope I pronounced your name right, sir. What class race in Classic, which Classic is pretty much all my best memories.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah, same.
Easy. We've explained this before. But it's still hard, I think, for people to grasp that play WoW now and didn't play Classic. Before it was across multiple servers, before there was cross-server anything, that game was like a daily soap opera within your life, but in the best way, because it was like high school cliques all over your particular server. And it would, it mattered what time of day you played. There were different groups and like drama happening all over the place. People were, the forums, the WoW forums back then.
There was one girl in every guild that was getting banged by somebody in your guild. It was great.
So
like Gwendolyn.
We literally had somebody cheating on his wife with a guildmate.
Yep.
Oh wow.
So
I don't want to say who it was.
So
but...
there was an in-game character whose name was Gwendolyn. And she was a priest. She was a priest.
Looks like the crow.
She was a priest in many, many guilds on Spirestone. If you're in the chat, Gwen, feel free to speak up. But she ended up banging the guild leader of one of the biggest and best horde guilds on the server at the time. His in-game name was Latham. I don't know any of these people's real names, so you might be in here. I don't know. And
Latham of the whale.
So John is like dying because of what happened afterwards. So they found some. This is horribly mean to Gwendolyn, but she used to sleep around or flirt with guys to get stuff in game most of the time. But
wow,
Latham had like a. He was pretty good financially in real life. He was pretty well to do. So he like flew and banged this girl and then flew home. And apparently she was of the larger persuasion. And so a dude in his guild told all the other guilds to just send Latham in the mail every item of the whale that they got.
Oh,
and so,
wow.
His mailbox was filled with thousands of the whale items.
Yeah, for anybody who hasn't played, there are different like suffixes to items.
They're terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible green items. They're worth nothing, but it'll be like a cape of the tiger, a pair of gloves of the monkey, and one of the suffixes is of the whale.
Yeah.
Stamina and spirit, I think.
Yeah. So it was stamina and spirit items, and we sent him thousands, including like guilds that hated him, which spammed. It's like, so he was a guild leader too, so he was getting legit mail all the time too, and so like his poor mailbox was just, I mean, like literally thousands. Like the whole server sent him of the whale shit. Like it was tremendous, but it was pretty great because like that time of WoW was an untested time. Nothing like that had ever existed. Like no community like that had ever happened until those servers were up and running. And like there were genuinely people on the Alliance side on Spirestone that I wanted to kill in reality. Like I hated these people so much, like because either they would just gank me or like constantly were just being dicks. Because the forum drama would start on the server, then it would get into the WoW forums, and then it would go into real life. And then there was websites like Faces of WoW, which I don't know if it exists anymore, which is just headshots of people in WoW organized by server, and you can post yourself on there.
Seems like a terrible idea.
Like,
yeah, that sounds awful.
It was insane. Like it was, and it will never happen again. Like this type of thing will never occur again. It
I'm
was
on my
amazing.
server right now. I'm amazed how quiet everything is because everyone's doing cross server everything, and nobody has any time for the people that are like there. Like in the game, the world of Warcraft felt like a world unto itself. Felt like its own.
When I was on Spirestone, there was Spirestone. There weren't other servers. They didn't. I don't know. It was a whole other ball game, and I think basically I could just put all my best. I played WoW with one of the greatest WoW players of all time. Who got, if Twitch had been a thing in like 06 to 09. K Warrior would have been so huge, and we
jerked off when he got his ash candy from the Therian.
He did.
Just on Ventrilo, he just held in his push to talk and he went at it. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
He ripped his shirt off initially, and then and this guy ended up being the guild leader of one of the biggest guilds in WoW. I don't know. It's the greatest time in gaming for me. even before I was a hardcore raider, just that whole year plus of, or maybe even 2 years of vanilla WoW, there was no.
Through BC, that was like the best.
And what did you play? Like, what was your main? That was part of the question.
I played a hunter for the majority of that time, named Johnny Autism initially, because I'm a very sensitive person. And then it lasted 19 levels and then was changed by Blizzard.
But somehow you had Big Dick Playa to like level 70.
Fuck Slime is level 62.
Fuck.
She's
What a great name. I played through BC. I never finished it. I never went to high level raids, but I played a gnome mage basically the entire time named Baxter Boom.
I could totally see you being a gnome mage too.
Yeah,
I could totally see it.
I was just like, what's the most like mage and gnome seems like a ridiculous combo, so I'm gonna do that and just play that out. I played to like level 45. Like I still can't roll a Death Knight because it keeps telling me I don't have a character that ever hit 55.
Yeah, it's true. You can't.
so
Which I think is kind of silly, but I guess that'll be fixed with
My best memory in Vanilla WoW was wiping to Cthulhu for months, just going and doing Nax and going back to AQ40 randomly after months of not being there and one-shotting him, and still being the server first to kill him.
Yep, that boss was. See, like I could go on and on and on and on about classic WoW stories because it's just like.
Also, getting really drunk at Dan's house the
Yes.
day I found out he was Pittsburgh. I just drove there.
Yep. We killed Nefarian that night as well, I believe, for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, classic WoW. There will never be a gaming time like it again.
Nope. No MMO will ever recapture that exact experience. It was like a phenomenon. Like everyone that was online played WoW.
But like that, the atmosphere of servers before cross server was something that will never be duplicated.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you found out that like you had a friend that played that was on a different server, it was crushing because it was like, you couldn't transfer between servers. You couldn't do it. It was like, well, I can either start over or we just won't play.
Yeah.
The worst was when you would have a guild fall apart or like friends stop playing and you had to choose whether to like go to a new server with your friends or stay where you were with the people who maybe aren't playing as much or the people who you're in like some kind of fight with or like leaving people behind. It was a heartbreaking time.
Yeah.
Devastating.
So, all right. Next question. We're on to our last couple. Which games in 2013 made you feel the closest to when you first played your favorite games of all time? I would kind of rephrase this as what were kind of some of the best moments you had gaming in 2013? Gosh, I don't know. I would say one that was a super good moment in a game this year. Climbing the tower in Tomb Raider, climbing the radio tower in Tomb Raider was absolutely fantastic. And that game's just really good overall. But that was one of those gaming moments where I'll be like, I'll never forget that because that was an amazing, amazing moment. Also, in a game that wasn't very good, but had one of the best things ever, the first Memory remix in Remember Me was like, wow. We need more games that were like this. That game, which I would give like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's an average game, maybe a little above average. Should have been great. The memory remix sections in that game were probably some of the best moments. If we were doing a best moment award, those would be right up there for me.
It's impressive, considering you did not have good things to say about that game.
No, I mean, like, the combat's garbage, and the pacing was terrible, and the misogynistic guards in it the whole time were so terrible, but the memory
game was
remix
good.
is amazing. So,
my favorite moment of gaming this year was probably the night we played Faction Wars in Just Cause 2 multiplayer.
oh god,
I think I didn't move out of my chair for probably 16 or 17 hours straight.
Wow.
That was the most fun I've had playing a game probably since Vanilla WoW. Like since like our eminent 12-hour Sunday raids. Like that was the most fun I've had in a game. It was fucking incredible.
You two, anything stand out?
Does it have to be a game from 2013?
No,
or just
no, just a moment you may have had.
Learning to speedrun Final Fantasy VII.
That's cool. That is a good one. That's a lot of dedication you had to that too.
I went all out for it, and I'm glad I did because it really was a great experience. I've never speedrun a game before, and I've never speedrun Final Fantasy VII before, which is my favorite game of all time. And just looking at my favorite game of all time in such a new light, and just like realizing all the extra subtle mechanics of the game, it was just a really great time. I would definitely do it again.
Hex?
I would say there's probably three. And two of them are just one. Playing all the way through and finishing Two Brothers and Gone Home on stream were two of my favorite things that I've done gaming this year, because those games, they made me feel like a sense of wonder that games haven't made me feel in a long time. Like, it made me feel like this is a whole new experience that I've never had before with a game, that I haven't felt like since I played the original Nintendo when I was a little kid. So that was really cool. And it was totally unexpected. And the other one would be during one of the Just Cause 2 multiplayer betas, we played with a big group of the community in Mumble at the airport and just like launched cars forever. And it was just like a couple hours of total nonsense, but it felt, like John said, like, wow, like you felt like a part of a community while you did it, and it was a lot of fun to be part of that.
Yeah, for sure. Just Cause 2, people in the stream were like, Just Cause 2 multiplayer had like all my moments. There were a lot, man. Playing fucking Flight of the Valkyries on top of a flaming jet with Brandon
That was so
driving
great.
it, like that. I don't know. It's one of those. Just Cause 2 for me, multiplayer is a lot like DayZ, although they are very, very different games. The build up to a great moment in those games can take a while, but then when it happens, it's like the best thing ever.
Oh yeah.
So.
Just the boat races and stuff we did. Oh man, that whole game as an experience with friends is just so amazing.
Yep, for sure. And our last question tonight, after we've done about 10 questions from you guys tonight. General Crunchy Toes, what do for beard cares?
What a
Barbasol.
Close
shave America. Close shave Barbasol.
I don't know what I don't know. My beard doesn't care about much. It's not a very caring entity. But thank you for the question, General Crunchy Toes. And that is it for episode 122. Next week, I believe we'll have a full crew plus some guests to do single player / co-op game of the year, which will be like pretty much the whole podcast next week. And then game of the year will be the week after that, hope, with a lot of guests as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight. I wanted to make it happen. I did not want to miss a third week out of the last 6 weeks. We've basically been every other week, so I really wanted to get one in. So thank you so much.
We were so good about not missing any weeks for the longest time, and we just missed all of them this year.
Earlier tonight, I was like, man, I might not do it. I'm down like 3 or 4 people, and I was like, you know what, we got to get it done. So thank you for coming out, guys, for episode 122 of the podcast. Make sure to follow all of us on Twitter. You can see our Twitters on screen. Follow KBMOD at KBMOD Gaming. And also check out kbmod.com, and please vote in our community award voting on the site right now. We have 4 separate posts up right now. We'll be adding more this week. And we'll see you tomorrow night. I may stream tonight as well on this channel if you're watching right now. But we will see you next time, guys. Later on.
Night, guys.
Peace.